Well, I'm talking to Douglas Barrett with Wherescape. Douglas has been a big supporter of Oregon SQL, of PASS, of our SQL Saturday organization. Thank you for doing that over the years.
No worries.
And to your employer for being a big sponsor. Appreciate that. We're at the PASS Summit here today. And Douglas, you've been working with large-scale data warehouse projects for many, many years. You have a lot of experience with this. What are some of the greatest challenges in organizing a team and managing a large-scale data warehouse project?
What we've seen work very well is agility. If we organize the team so that they're able to build something very rapidly, we tend to prefer to work with a prototype first of all. And this suits more the business-facing side of the data warehouse. Loading data, extracting, loading data, that's one issue. We want to be productive in that space. But as we start building and engaging with the business to answer a business requirement, we need the ability to be agile. That allows us to collaborate and communicate with the business as we're building. We need to be able to react to a better understanding of the data as the developer team, a better understanding of the data quality, a better understanding of the user requirements as it relates to the data. And not all of that can be understood up front, so we like to build a prototype to better understand it ourselves. We like to present that and socialize that prototype with the business. We like to then build on that prototype and make things better until it's into a state that's useful to the end users.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a harder question now. So if I'm in the role of a developer, I'm not the architect, I'm not the decision maker or the CIO, what can I do as a developer to make that case to turn these waterfall projects, these long-term projects where we spend all of our time up front trying to gather requirements and try to figure out what we're going to build, into using a more agile cadence?
Well, that is tricky because the way that we are coordinating a set of tools and technologies. So we need to maybe use a prototyping mindset, prototyping maybe a separate set of tools, maybe do this in the BI, but verify the design that you want to build before you have to build it, because when you start building it, that's when the expense comes in. If we can understand everything through a prototype, which I believe is the best way of doing it, first of all, then it's going to save a lot of time and money as we move into the build phase of the data warehouse.
Okay. All right, well, the purpose of this interview is not marketing. You represent a company, Wherescape, who has a fantastic product. So first of all, tell us what Wherescape offers in order to solve this problem.
Sure, so Wherescape is an automation technology as applied to data warehousing. So it's tools that we would put in the hands of a developer, and it makes those developers much more productive by automating what we would consider the donkey work or the repeatable work of the data warehouse. So rather than him having to go off and build some ETL processing and match that to a target table and then have to try and make changes and then document what he's built, we automate a lot of those steps, generate code. We also synchronize through the use of a metadata repository the code generation with the target tables, with the documentation, with the workflow dependencies, with the deployment. We bring all of those tasks together, and that allows the developer to be much more productive.
Sure. Having worked on a number of large projects where part of our task was to actually architect, build, populate, and manage a data warehouse, it doesn't take long to figure out that you're spending a lot of time paying developers to do repeatable work and spending a lot of time and money to do that using traditional tools. So there's no doubt that there's a good case to be made about using a tool like Wherescape Red, to be able to do something like that.
That's right, because data warehousing is full of patterns. Now, the processing pattern for a type 2 dimension, for a hub table, a links table, type 1, fact table, accumulating fact, it's a pattern.
Sure.
And that is ripe for automation. And so as applied to data warehousing, automation is right in the sweet spot of how we can apply it to data warehousing.
Okay. And if I don't have the luxury, again, not the decision maker, don't have the budget, I'm a low man on the totem pole, but I need to get the job done. So if I don't have the luxury of working with your tools, and I'm just working with traditional SSIS and SQL Server, what are 5 best practices that I need to be mindful of as I
okay.
use, you go, to be able to deliver let's say a data mart solution.
Right. Well, very definitely, over and over again, be agile. That means be iterative.
Sounds like that's important.
That's very important for engaging, because the business don't really know how not to be agile. Their reaction when you ask for their requirements is often, I'll know if it's right when I see it. They have a bunch of assumptions that IT already knows some of their business. Maybe IT doesn't know all of the assumptions that are built into their requests or their requirements. So being able to build a prototype manages to flush out what they've assumed we know, what we assume they know about the data. They're often seeing the data in its raw format, and it's first of all, so they can see the issues with it, the data quality issues.
It's much easier to talk about a solution when you have something that's representative, something to actually look at and show and say, hey, is this directionally, is this right? Or, are we on the wrong path, and how can we make corrections quickly?
Exactly, and it doesn't mean to say we don't have requirements. We still need requirements, but we just are working on the...
we don't always get crisp requirements up front.
Exactly, we just got to work with the understanding that the requirements may not be perfect for the task. So we've got to work with that.
It might change over time as well.
Exactly.
Well, awesome. Well, great. Thank you, Douglas. Appreciate your time.